So last night I had a few drinks, as I do from time to time. I drink a lot less than I used to now. And I went to bed, must have been about 11:30, something like that. Bit drunk, not, I don't get blotto, stinko, paralytico, but I do sort of drink enough to help kind of knock me out and help me sleep. So I went upstairs, climbed into bed. About 10 minutes later, there's a knock on my bedroom door, and it's my daughter. And what she wants to know is, she wants me to do some washing because she needs some clothes for the morning. I mean, she can come to me any time for this, and I do try to keep up. I do try to remind them, you got any washing, you got any washing. They've each got like a washing basket in their room to put their washing in, but it's always empty. Clothes are strewn all over the floor and not in the basket. She's fine. So she knocks on the door, bless her cotton socks, asking me to do some washing up. Why is it cotton socks? Where does that come from? Bless her cotton socks. Why would you bless someone's socks? That phrase must come from somewhere. It must originate from something. It can't be just something that's been thrown out. Well, I suppose it could be. It could be. These days, phrases are made up and they're meaningless. Whereas generally in the past, they come from some kind of historical thing. So I don't know. Blessing her cotton socks. Maybe it's because, socks get worn, so they tend to be holy. Right, I'm going to kill myself now. Bye! So I stagger downstairs, half asleep, half drunk, half Nelson. So and I put the stuff in the washing machine, put the powder in, turn it off and on, and I set my alarm because so I sort of say to her, half asleep, half drunk, half Nelson, you want them for the morning? She says, yes please. Like, honestly, really? So I set my alarm for like 3 in the morning, so it gives it time to wash, because I've no idea how long it takes. I tend to put, when I do washing, I tend to put it on in the morning, leave it, and then go back later in the day and see, oh, it's finished. So I've never really kind of clocked how long it actually takes. Hours is all I can reasonably calculate. And so I set my alarm. I went back to bed and I woke up suddenly about 1 o'clock in the morning, still maybe quarter drunk and 3/4 asleep, still half Nelson, and I sort of thought, oh, fuck, I think I'll get up because I've got to sort out this washing. And I came downstairs and I was just kind of like in limbo. It was like in a dreamland. I was nowhere. It wasn't night, it wasn't day, I wasn't asleep, I wasn't awake, I wasn't sober, I wasn't drunk. It was just like I was a bit of everything. And it was sort of dreamlike. And I put my headphones on and I listened to some music and I kind of danced about a bit, if you can call it dancing. And I wrote something down on a piece of card, and the piece of card is here. And I often do is have these bits of card lying around, which I stole from Morrison's when I used to work there. Sorry, Morrison's. And I use them for, I don't often make notes. A lot of writers will say, write everything down, have an idea, write it down. I have so many ideas. Ideas aren't my problem. I have ideas all the time, and I tend to find with me that the good ideas stick, and the bad ideas, I think, are the ones I forget. Of course, I can't be sure of that because I've forgotten what they are. But on the whole, I don't really write stuff down. But this I felt compelled to write down. And what I've written is this. I woke up this morning, I couldn't remember what it was. I knew I'd written something. So I came down and looked at it, and it says, it's so easy to find an opinion. It's less easy to have one. So it's kind of profound, don't you think? And I think what it is, I know what it is, because having read it, I can remember now what the thought was that led me to that. Is this idea, is the observation that I've made with a lot of people in real life, and obviously online, because it's to do with online, is that it's easy to find an opinion because you can find an opinion on anything online. You can Google anything and discover someone else's opinion, and then you can adopt that if you think it sounds funny or witty or clever or intelligent or insightful. So I think people do that a lot. Occasionally, there are people in my life who will say things and my brain will just go, that's the internet talking. That's not you. I know you. That's not your kind of thinking. That's the internet talking to me there. You are a personification of the internet talking to me, and I think this happens a lot, unfortunately. And what it's doing is it's homogenizing our thought processes. It's making it so that we're all kind of looking at the same things online. I mean, thankfully, there's a huge variety of things. So it's not like the internet is going to brainwash us all into one single thought, kill the king, kill the king, kill the king, buy McDonald's, buy McDonald's, buy McDonald's, say everything in threes, say everything in threes, say everything in threes. It's not like that's that's going to be it, I don't think. But what I think is kind of good about it is this idea that maybe then there'll be people who look at my videos, take on my opinions and spread them out in the world. Oh God, I hope not. These are my opinions, they're mine, they're not yours. I'm lending them to you. You can't adopt them. You've got to have your own thoughts. If I have anything to say out there, if there's any kind of message that I want people to take away from what I say, and it's not even much of a message really, it's not like it's insightful particularly or incredibly brilliant or soul-searching or observational of humanity or reality or time or distance or philosophy or anything like that. It's just think for yourselves. You know, it's the old Monty Python, the Life of Brian philosophy. You've got to think for yourselves. Don't let other people tell you how to think. Even if you go looking, you know, I'm not saying that we're all oppressed by the thoughts of others and we walk around, like I was saying before. It's more that we look at things, we're too lazy now. We're too lazy to actually think for ourselves because we can find an opinion online. We can find information, you know, just by Googling it. And you can Google anything. You can Google... That's what's crazy about it. You can Google anything and find an opinion on it. Find a forum. Find a conversation about it, you know? And on the one hand, that is actually kind of fantastic because it means knowledge is power and power is electricity. And electricity powers our computers and our computers give us... It's like a big circle. I don't know. So that boils down to the thought that I had last night that I felt compelled to write down. And so I thought I'd talk about it today. Is it's easy to find an opinion. It's more difficult to have one. Because there's not only that as well, it's that there's the kind of gang mentality goes on online as well because so many people can go online. And gang mentality, as I'm sure you know, is that there's a line, I think it's in Men in Black, when he says a person is smart, people are stupid. And it's true. A single person can think brilliantly and come up with ideas and thoughts and original musings and really get to grips with what reality is about if his thoughts, like my thoughts on these videos, if his thoughts aren't corrupted by the influence of others. And that's brilliant. But the problem is conglomerate sort of thinking, when you get a group, it kills individuality. You know, it exclusivizes ideas. You know, when an individual thinks, like when I'm doing these videos, I'm riffing from moment to moment and I'm going like a stream of consciousness and I'm having different thoughts and I'm exploring different thoughts and I'm just going with it. I'm winging it. You know, it's free form and it's great and it's fun and it's fantastic and it feels right. But the more people there are in a group, the more chance there is that they won't say certain things because they're afraid that the rest of the group will object, or they'll say something and the rest of the group will object and then that will be taken away. And slowly group mentality, what it does is it limits what we can say and not say, what we can think and not think, what we can do. It limits it because the more people are involved, the fewer things are acceptable. And that's the problem with the internet, is it's a massive gang. It's the entire population of the world. And that's why we have cancel culture, I think, now. Because the sheer power of everybody in the world looking at one thing and having an opinion on it is always going to boil down to the basest possible reaction. You know, it's like this thing that the average intelligence, 49% of people are below average intelligence. That makes sense, and it makes mathematical sense as well, of course, because average tends to be in the middle. So, you know, and then there's the 2% at the top, so the other bits are divided into 49% each. Makes sense to me. So the more people you have involved, the more people there are that are in that lower bracket. And when you have a group mentality, the group mentality has to be inclusive of everyone in that group, so therefore the highest possible IQ level in order to incorporate everybody has to be the lowest IQ of the people involved. Therefore, that's why group mentality is always stupid. It's always stupid, because it's only as clever as the stupidest person in the group. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You know, I'm starting to think that should be my mantra. Am I wrong? And it's an interesting question because I'm not actually asking if I'm wrong. I'm telling you that I'm right. But I'm posing it as a question. As if to say, am I wrong? Can I possibly be wrong? You know, am I wearing glasses? Do I have teeth? It's the same sort of thing. So there we go. That's my thinking today. Group mentality can only be as bright as the stupidest person in the group. So Now you're all going to get together and tell me I'm wrong, aren't you? And if you do, then you're only showing that I'm right. That doesn't quite work, though. I could just be wrong. Just because the majority of people disagree with me doesn't make me right.